All right, welcome back. Now, Nigeria's port in Apapa, Lagos State, southwest Nigeria, is the second largest source of income for the country after the oil industry. The Nigeria Ports Authority in the first quarter of 2017 alone raked in 118 billion naira. Managing Director of the NPA, Hadiza Bala Audu, said the revenue projection for 2017 is 250 billion naira, an amount the NPA will likely surpass going by the first quarter record now. Unfortunately, with the huge revenue generated from the Apapa ports, it is also an unpleasant story for Nigerians who generate this wealth at the ports. Businessmen, exporters, tanker drivers, clearing agents, freight forwarders, and everyone that has something to do in and around the Apapa port has a sorry tale to tell about the total collapse of infrastructure at the ports. Bad roads, poor drainage system, dirty and filthy environment, perpetual traffic gridlock, insecurity are just a hallmark of Nigeria's port in Apapa. This development has not only contributed to the loss of man-hours, it has also affected business concerns in that area. And of course, there's a group that is complaining very seriously about the situation at the Apapa port because, I mean, these people are able to, well, if you like, get their products across the country, but then to ship these products out of the country has been a big challenge. And I'm talking about the National Association of, the National Cashew Association of Nigeria, actually, and I have two members of that association with us. I have the president of the association right here in the studio, Tola Fasharo, the president of the National Cashew Association. I also have Sotonya Anga, who is a spokesperson of the association, actually the national publicity secretary of the association. Gentlemen, thank you very much for coming on the program. Let me start with you, Mr. Fasharo. Quite a terrible situation, what we see at the ports there. Just give us an insight as to how it affects your business.
Thank you very much. Looking at what's on the ground, if you go to Apapa and the neighborhood towards the port, you see the terrible state of the road, and you find trailers queuing up for days, staying standstill.
And these trailers, some are coming to pick up oil, some are actually carrying goods for export.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the port is actually the gateway to the economy of any nation. Today we're talking about the government, and of course everyone is talking about the economic diversification, looking at diversifying the economy away from oil. And the area where we're looking at is the non-oil export sector, and primarily agricultural exports. It's a nightmare getting your goods from the warehouse to the port to get it shipped. It takes what it should take ordinarily 4 hours, anywhere within Lagos where you have your warehouse, to load your goods to the port shouldn't take more than 4 hours. Today, we're talking about 10 days, 2 weeks or more.
That's quite terrible.
Most transporters are not even willing to go towards the port area. So to get your goods transported to the port is a big problem. The cost has risen tremendously by over 150,000%. The cost of your forwarding your goods now. The roads are bad.
Potentially, how much do you think it is costing as an association, or any of your member, for instance, who wants to move goods to the airport now, in terms of the loss of, not just the loss of manpower now, but in terms of the cost it adds to your own business? How much would you think that would be?
Like I said, it's over 150% increment in cost. And that is a huge burden for us.
And of course, that does not mean you would increase your price, because you're not.
No, the price is fixed.
It's fixed.
You've agreed. These are contracts that have been agreed, okay, and your buyers are not in Nigeria. They are abroad, they are overseas. So you have this contractual obligation. LCs are already signed, okay, and then you just cannot change your price.
It's none of the business of the contractor whether or not it's costing you so
Absolutely.
much.
So it changes the whole dynamics of exports. It makes it so expensive, it makes us less competitive. You know, an exporter from Nigeria is faced with competition from other neighboring countries that produce the same product, commodities that will produce. Ivory Coast, Ghana, the cocoa produced in Nigeria is produced in Ivory Coast. The cashew produced in Nigeria is produced in Ivory Coast. So when you're complaining of gridlock, they don't have the same problem. So your Nigerian exporters are put back, and we're not able to meet obligations.
It's quite sad that we'll be
frustrating.
complaining about logistics in this age and time.
Not at this time. It's so painful. And more so, it has affected our business so much that you just cannot really calculate and meet obligations. If you tell somebody, look, I'm going to ship in 10 days, you are not sure. That shipment may end up happening in 30 days. And that is worrisome.
If you were to ship your products now, say from your warehouse, just somewhere around in Lagos to the port at Apapa, how long would it take?
Well, I'm telling you now, it takes between 10 to 14 days.
And in the past?
And I would, no, I mean, by the time you call for 4 hours. But the other side to it is that most transporters are not even ready to release their trucks to go to the port. So that has increased, one, the number of trucks available for such conveyance has reduced. Secondly, the cost has increased tremendously. That has, increased the overall cost of your export. And like my colleague said, the price is fixed. You're not going to say, oh, you're increasing it, because based on the vagaries of the international market. And we are not the only one doing this business. There are other exporters in other African countries. And like I said earlier on, Nigeria has come from a poor position before now. And with government, with us working together, we've been able to make an improvement over time. This is likely to set us back. We're already hearing
it's not even likely.
deterioration. We're already getting poor feedbacks because of this delay. You know, this matter has been on for some time, but it's gotten to a point where we cannot hold it back. We've been making communication to various agencies on this, but at this time we feel something drastic, something radical should be done.
We also know that each time you talk about privatization, the unions are against it. But you think this is one initiative the unions should not be against here?
This has to be done, and the time is now, because our livelihood is threatened, and we just have to do the right thing. If you keep doing things the same way, you continue to get the same result. If you know that something is not working, make it work, and you make it work by making things happen differently. So that is the right way to go, whether any other person likes it or not. That's the right way to go for the future of Nigeria, the Nigerian nation, and for the future of exports, and for the future of our young people coming up. We just have to take this decision.
And I hope this does not threaten, the contracts you have signed. I mean, you don't have a situation where contractors abroad are breathing down on your neck and get to the extent of cancelling contracts. So
yes, already some contracts are being cancelled right now. It's happening already. And we fear that more will happen, and the colossal impact and effect it will have on the nation will be terrible. It means that we're going to see more pressure on the naira, okay, and because there will be less supply of dollar into the country. Because you see, when you export, you earn foreign exchange.
That's true.
So when your export declines, your foreign exchange earning also declines. So there will be more pressure on the naira. I would have a whole lot of problem, youth restiveness, anarchy, and all of that. So we just have to do something drastic and take action fast. Actions that we can see happening right now. The Apapa gridlock should be resolved. The road, like my colleague has said, that urgent palliative has to be done. It has to be fixed, and the time to fix it is now.
No. Gentlemen, thank you very much for coming on the program. Honestly, if you ask me, I think it's actually a disgrace that we have that situation at the port. I've never seen a thing like that for a country that is planning to diversify, for a country that is laying emphasis on agriculture now and trying to encourage export. it's surely not the way to go. It's quite embarrassing that we're talking about roads. I mean, quite
Just
embarrassing
road.
in this age and time.
And our road is killing exports.
Killing export and killing all of the initiatives that the government has put out there. Gentlemen, thank you very much for coming on the program, and we'll continue to put this on the front burner to make sure that something is done, not just done, but done very quickly to save all of us. Okay, we'll take a short break and we'll be right back. Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on DEJI360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world again?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions.